Hey, what's up, beautiful people of the internet? I'm Haley, and I'm joined with my friends Madison and Emily, and this is Tea and Biscuits.
Get some napkins, because we're about to spill the tea on the latest of All My Sons. In this segment, we'll be talking about perception through different medias.
It was much easier for us to understand the emotions and relationships on stage rather than in the book.
I agree. I feel that in the book, it was a lot harder for us to realize how the characters were feeling because it was so early in the morning when we were reading, and many of our classmates were reading in monotone voices, which made it hard for us to understand the true feelings of these characters.
And I feel like no one really tried to put themselves into the character that they're reading's position. I know for myself, I was Anne, but I didn't really picture myself as being Anne and everything that she has and stuff, and I don't know. I just figured I was just reading a book and wasn't really trying to put much emotion into it and
be the character.
Yeah, let it be as realistic as possible.
We kind of just had the mindset that, it's just English class.
Yeah, second period.
We're given a book, let's just read it.
All right, what time is this period gonna end?
Yeah, so we didn't really care, didn't really put much thought into the book, what we were reading, so none of us could really understand what was going on.
But the play really helped us to see the characters' emotions and feel what was going through their heads and really get the whole picture, especially with the set and everything. It just helped it put it all together.
Yeah, I liked the play. I was able to see the whole environment that there's in the play, see the whole setting, knowing that it was taking place after World War II, and seeing how different it is compared to what it is nowadays and stuff, and how families act around each other and the relationships between families now compared to then.
Yeah, actually, it really did help the play. The main thing for me was, when we were reading the book, I had no idea what the tree scene was. Yeah. I honestly didn't even know that a tree broke in half. I couldn't even tell you that happened.
But in the play?
Seeing the play, I was like, oh, a tree broke. And I was able to understand the plot more.
And it really gave the tree meaning, too. Before it was just kind of a tree broke. Yeah. But, after seeing the play, you could, tell that meant something. That was Larry's tree, and now,
Yeah, and
how much of an effect that it had on the family and how important it really was compared to just a tree just falling during a storm.
And it also, we were able to see all the different characters' thoughts on it. We could see who cared the most, how big of the issue it was to some characters.
Especially Mother, Kate, the tree breaking, I feel that was
most meaningful for her.
Yeah, because she didn't really want the tree in the first place because she saw it as hope more so as something bad happened. She saw it as, this tree isn't supposed to be here because Larry's not dead, so why did we even plant this memorial here for him?
Since they don't even know for sure if he's really gone or if he's just still missing. Not knowing when he's gonna be coming back at all.
So, with that said, I think the first order of business was the relationships shown in the play. The major one being Joe and Chris. Reading the book, it was kind of hard. I mean, I could see there was tension between the two characters, but I didn't realize, after seeing the play, how much tension there was.
Seeing Joe spit in Chris's face, the anger and the passion that was coming from him.
Yeah, you could really see the aggression and stuff.
I felt bad for the old guy. He was getting yelled at. He looked really sad, but it just really helped to see their emotion and their relationship. How much Chris really hated him in the moment.
How passionate they really were about this.
How this really did affect Chris so deeply. The fact that his father could do something like this and is the reason that these 21 pilots are dead. really
Mm-hmm.
just devastated him. I feel like he kind of knew in the back of his head that
He
his
just-
father was kind of responsible.
He didn't want to believe it.
but
Yeah.
he didn't
Yeah.
want to believe it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another relationship, a big one, was Kate and Joe.
Which is a pretty important one because they're kind of
husband and wife, and having to deal with like their missing or dead son.
Because Kate thought he was still alive. Kate had hope.
She truly believed
really
it in her
believed it.
heart that
And
he
it was
Where I feel like Joe was trying to like pressure her into like making her like realize that, hey, he actually might be gone.
but like the play really helped me to see that Kate isn't delusional. She needs Larry to be alive, because if Larry isn't alive, then there's a chance her husband killed her son.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, and that really-
that's-
that really affected her deeply. Like, she believed that was not okay. A father cannot kill his own son. So I feel like when Anne gave her the letter, that was kind of a game changer. But
Also,
at the same time, it just proved what she was trying to suppress, because her husband kind of did kill her son because he was so disappointed and ashamed and embarrassed of the pilots that died
Mhm. And
and what his
imagine
father did.
that like guilt that Joe must have, like if his son really is gone, then like just knowing that you are responsible for your son's death.
I don't
and
even
like
know how
the
to
emotional
think about
toll that like will have on you, and how you're gonna have to deal with that the rest of your life.
yeah. Also, we were able to see how Kate, Joe faced reality. He was able to, I don't know,
Deal with it
Yeah,
and
he came to
accept.
conclusions. He was able to accept it. Kate didn't want to believe it. Didn't want to face reality. So. And
Another,
then,
go ahead, continue what were you gonna say?
well, we can go on to another relationship that we saw.
Which
Anne and Chris.
was pretty big, because
Yeah,
Kate-
I feel like that was a
I-
really important
I
relationship.
felt like in the book it was just
wasn't that big of a deal.
no, and I feel like I never
I never really thought of it as much of an issue as it like really
I
was.
don't
Or
know.
as like
there was no
as I
like
saw in the
There was
play.
no like
lead up to it or
Exactly.
anything. Like all of a sudden they were just like,
hey, we're here, we're
they're
together,
dating.
yeah.
Like wow, we're getting married. But now it was like we could see they were, I don't know, the play showed together a little bit more how they were interacting with each other,
mm-hmm.
and we were able to see them get together.
Yeah, also it is a huge deal that Anne and Chris are like in love with each
Together.
other, because
That shows that like Anne has moved on from Larry.
yes,
Also,
And
yeah,
so has
Anne
Chris.
Anne can accept his death. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
but she
gets
knows.
over it.
That's the thing.
She
She
knows.
knows
knows-
he's dead, which is crazy to think, because
Mhm.
she's the only character that does know that Larry is 100% dead.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas which allows her to move on and not feel guilty about Chris,
And so she like has that closure compared to everybody else.
who
Mhm.
has no idea what's reality. I
Mhm.
mean, most of them assume that he's gone. It's been years, and they don't.
But
think
they
he's
still are
coming
holding
back.
on to that little bit of hope that he could still be
Yeah.
alive.
Another relationship was Kate and Anne. In the book, I kind of just got a sense that they didn't really like each other. I didn't really know why.
Yeah.
I couldn't connect. But
Mhm.
when we saw the play, I saw how much Kate didn't want Anne there, because it was another thing. She didn't want to face reality that
That was
maybe
like,
her son is dead and they're moving on.
If-
Anne is accepting it that he's dead, and she doesn't want that.
if she accepts Anne and Chris together, then that's pretty much saying like, oh, I know Larry's dead.
Yeah, I
and,
know my son is
Uh-huh.
dead.
And his girl is getting married to someone else, and there's nothing I can really do about it.
Mhm.
But I feel like at the beginning, Kate was kind of hopeful that Anne was on her side, but as the book and play progressed, you could see that Anne was definitely not on Kate's side, which caused a lot of tension between the characters.
Okay, next, moving away from relationships, we can go toward emotion. Again, with all the characters, seeing the play versus reading the book, there was so much more emotion.
You could see the anger
Yeah.
and the sadness.
Yeah, definitely the major one for me was Joe and Chris.
Yeah.
Chris was so mad. I wasn't even able to see any of the frustration when I was reading the book, and seeing Joe's reaction to it too. He was just really sad, and by the end of it, I mean, he was so hard on himself that he eventually killed himself. So
yeah, which I feel like that was almost a little bit hard to realize in the book, that he did kill himself.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I
didn't know that he killed himself. I don't know.
I was actually surprised when I watched the play and the like gunshot happened and like we knew that like Chris killed himself. Yeah. Joe killed himself. And like honestly, when I was reading the book, I didn't
even know.
I didn't even like realize that he killed himself and like how much he was like really struggling with all of this that's going on at this time.
I feel like Joe was a character that was very hard to like see his emotions. Like,
he was hard to read,
especially in the play too. The actor who portrayed him, he made it kind of difficult to see the emotions that he was feeling at some points.
But like I don't know if it was like supposed to be like that. Like is it that's how like Joe and his character is, not specifically the actor that was like portraying him.
I don't know.
I think another big one was George. When we were reading the book, I honestly didn't even really know who George was.
Yeah, George was kind of irrelevant.
I didn't really see it, but in the play, I was able to see so much how upset he was over the fact that his father was in jail, but
here Joe is walking free.
I saw his frustration and how much he was trying to just get to the bottom of it, trying to find like every single clue from what they said, like when Kate was like, "Oh, he hasn't ever been sick," and then
he was like, "Oh, but on the day that the cylinder had shipped out, he
so
had the flu."
Yeah,
we could see how suspicious he was, how much he really was just upset about it.
And I feel like he was even more upset because he did like shun his father. Like he shut his father out for years. Like he hasn't spoken to him, hasn't sent him even like a Christmas card. Like it really bothered him, and when he finally is realizing the truth, I think he's mad at himself and he's mad at everybody else. And I feel like he's mad at Anne too for even thinking about marrying Chris, because his father is the one who sent their father to jail.
Yeah.
Next, we can move on to the the critiques.
Yeah.
Both of the play and the book. I think the main thing for the book was that we just need the next time we just really need to get more into it. I don't really know.
And read with more passion.
We also need to remember that we're just high school students. We're not like
actors.
Yeah, we're not actors. Like no one really cared that much.
So
where like people that were like doing in the play and like the actors and actresses, their goal was to try and show like
make us feel what these characters are going through.
Like it was their job to do that, and I think they actually did a really good job doing it, because I know that I got more out of the play than I did when reading the book.
Yeah, but I feel like that's gonna happen because it is so much easier when we're seeing the events play out right in front of us.
Yeah, instead of like imagining in our head like the setting, where like in the musical the setting was all there for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like what I said about the tree earlier, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to imagine what it would look like. Now we can see it in the play, all of the different setups. I don't know, it also, we can see how it was like earlier in the day, like mid-1900s, around there. So that also, the setting played into our understanding on on what was going on.
I feel like being able to like watch the play, we were able to like see the times play out, like, I don't know, order of events, like chronological order. You're able to see how much time is really passing. Like in the book, I feel like a lot more time passed than it actually did. Yeah, but then in the play, it was over just like a matter of 3 days. All of this stuff happened.
It was over like one day. I feel
honestly,
like.
Yeah.
I think it was one day.
Yeah.
Because when they changed, when they like got into new clothes or whatever, like that was that night, because they were going out to dinner that night. So it was kind of cool how it all happened in one day with the play, where as the book it was like, oh my god, this is dragging on forever.
Also, like when we were reading the book, we read it over a matter of days, because only like a class period's only so long.
Yeah.
and stuff. And so, like, honestly, how long did it even take for us to read the book in class?
Like a week.
Yeah. We're like, it was only a couple hours to see it all roll out in one smooth play.
And so I think that's why it's good to see both a play and read the book, because you really get a deeper understanding of everything that's going on, whether it's like emotions or the relationships between the characters. You're able to really feel and see what is actually happening, what the author wanted you to think and feel as
rather
these
than
events are
reading
playing
it in
out.
a book.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like
so much harder if you're not an actor. I mean, it's just hard to portray it. If you don't know what you're doing, you obviously can't just totally put yourself in the shoes of another person and be like them. It's so much more harder to understand everything that's going on, where the play, we can finally see it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that this was a great experience for all of us to read the book first and then see the play and watch everything unfold before our eyes. And it gave us such a more meaningful understanding of what was actually going on. I mean, we were able to feel the relationships and see the emotion rather than just reading it. So
Yeah.
I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Teen Biscuits with Haley, Emily, and Maddie. And
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.